Replace a screw that is missing from a frame. All we need is a screwdriver and the right size screw. It's very small, so you might not see it. We first have to place the lenses back onto the frame and then put the screw inside the hole. We can put the frame at the edge of the table for support, and we just put the screwdriver on the screw. We gently turn. We do not want to push in because we do not want to stab ourselves. And there it goes. That is how you replace a screw. To replace a snap-in nose pad, all you will need is a needle nose pad plier. You will place the plier on this side of the nose pad, and all you have to do is wiggle the nose pad. To put it back on, you can just use your finger to snap it back in. To replace a screw-on nose pad, all we will need is a screwdriver. We will hold the nose pads like this and placing the screwdriver on the screw. We do not want to push in because we don't want to stab ourselves. All we're going to do is just place it on the screw and use our finger as support. We then replace it with the new nose pad, and if we're going to use a D-shaped nose pad, like in this case, we want to make sure that the flat part is facing the face front of the nose of the frame. Screw in the screw again, and do the same thing for the other side. We are now going to restring a semi-rimless frame. First thing we have to do is make space so we can take out the lenses. Once the ribbon is in, we could wiggle out the lens so you can take them out. To take out the string down here, or the nylon cord, you have to just push this out, push the nylon out, and take it out with a thumbtack. And do the same thing on this side. Now going to restring the nylon cord, and we can start from the top part of the nose pad area. The part that is in, we want to hold it down while we bring the other part through the second hole, hole that's on the bottom. I'm gonna tighten it, and then we're gonna go to the second, start from the inside on the bottom. And we're going to put it on the other side of the hole on top. We can use the needle nose plier to help us restring. Once that is placed, we want to hold down the the nylon part by this side over here. We then grab the lens and we can place it back to its place. And that is how you restring a nylon. We are now going to replace a nut and a bolt on the hinges. Well, the first thing we're going to do is make sure that the hinge and the temple are aligned. So that way we can put the bolt in place. If we notice in this particular bolt, it has a washer. We usually would place this one, we are putting it in a rimless frame. That way the washer can protect the lens from any damages from the pressure. But in this particular case, the washer is just going to give support so it can hold more. We're going to put it in place. And what we're going to do with the nut, the nut actually has two sides. It has a flatter part on the back, and on the front has a curvier part. So the curvier part, we're going to place it towards the bolt, and the flatter towards the outside. We can help the bolt go in with our finger if it's small enough, or with the top part of the cutter. Since this screw has, or bolt has, a flat head top, you can just place the screwdriver for support, holding it in place, and with the cutter just bringing the nut in. Or we can hold the nut in place and screw the screw. Alright. Usually there is an excessive, but as you can see, I have already cut the excessive previously, but there is a little bit portion still coming off. What we usually do, we will use a file to cut that, or to file it down. But of course, you always have to be careful so you won't mess up the frame. But that is how you place a nut and bolt. Okay, so now we are going to change stirrup nose pads. And the stirrup nose pads are the ones that have the hook on the side. So if you have lens on the frame, you want to always cover them and protect them. To be able to take them off, you're going to need a screwdriver. You're going to put the screwdriver in between the guard arms and the nose pad, in that little gap. And what you're going to do, you're just going to twist your screwdriver side to side until the nose pads comes off. All right, that's off there. So now that it's off, what you're going to do is, with your needle nose pad, you're going to straighten up the metal portion of the nose pads. So that way you can put them back into the guard arms. All right, so it's straight there. You're going to place them back into the guard arms. You're gonna put one side first. You're going to pull the metal part. You're gonna push it in so it can hold. Once it is pushed in a little, you're going to go by the other side And you're going to push that side as well in so it can hold. Once it's holding, go back to the first one and push it in. And go back to the other side and do the same thing. Alright, there it is. If you moved it, you just gotta push it back to how it was. We are now going to measure the base curve on a single vision lens. The way to measure the base curve is by using a lens clock like this. What we're going to do on a single vision lens, we have to check on the 1/80th meridian, on the 90th meridian, and the oblique meridian. So we're gonna first start off with the 1/80th, and we're just going to read off the numbers that we see on the lens clock. So we see there at a 3. Okay, and then we're gonna change or turn the lens itself, or the frame itself, so it can be at the 90th meridian, and we're gonna look again at the lens clock. It is at 2.75. After that, we're going to do the oblique, and we're gonna read again. It is also at a 275. I'm just making sure. All right, so from those 3 readings on the base curve on a single vision lens is going to be the smallest base curve. And between all the three meridians, the smallest curve would be the 275. So the base curve of these would be 275.